The shuttle landed on the metal platform with a loud hiss, looked through the small window and saw the Galactic Military Academy for the first time. The buildings were huge. They were made of dark stone and shining metal. Strange flags from different planets moved slowly in the wind. Took a deep breath. He was the first human to ever walk into this place. The door of the shuttle opened, picked up his bag and stepped outside. The air smelled different here. It was clean but also strange, like nothing he had ever smelled on Earth. He looked around and saw aliens of all shapes and sizes walking across the open yard. Some were tall with blue skin. Others were short with many arms. A few had no arms at all. They moved in groups, talking in languages could not understand. His translator device hung around his neck. It was a small black box that changed alien words into Korean. The device made a soft buzzing sound as it worked, heard bits of conversations as he walked. "Look at that one. What species is that?" "I think it is a human." "A human from Earth, that primitive rock." Kept walking. He did not look at them. He did not want trouble on his first day. His father had told him before he left Earth, "You are not just going there for yourself. You are going there for all of us. Make us proud, but be smart." Remembered those words now. He held his bag and walked toward the main building. The registration hall was full of new cadets. Most of them were aliens, was the only human in the room. He stood in line and waited for his turn. The aliens around him kept looking at him. Some pointed. Some laughed quietly, ignored them. When it was his turn, he walked up to the desk. A tall alien with gray skin and 4 eyes sat behind it. The alien looked at for a long time. "Name?" the alien asked. "You from Earth?" The alien typed something on a glowing screen. "Earth, Sol System, Class M planet, population 8 billion, technology level, basic." Felt his face get hot. Basic. That word hurt. Humans had built cities, sent ships to the stars, and created art and music that made people cry. But to these aliens, Earth was just a small rock with basic technology. "Your room is in Building 7, the alien said. "You will share it with another cadet. Training starts tomorrow at sunrise. Do not be late." Took the card the alien gave him and walked away. He found Building 7 after asking for directions 3 times. The halls were long and cold. The lights above him made a low humming sound. He found his room at the end of the hall and opened the door. The room was small. There were 2 beds, 2 desks, and 1 window. A cadet was already inside, sitting on one of the beds. She looked up when entered. She was human too. "You are the other human," she said. She stood up and smiled. "I am Park." Felt relief wash over him. He was not alone. He said, "I thought I was the only one." Laughed. They accepted 2 humans this year, some kind of new program. Earth is trying to build better relations with the Galactic Council. She sat back down on her bed. "But do not expect anyone here to be nice to us. I have been here for 3 hours, and I have already been called primitive 5 times." Put his bag on the empty bed. "Same thing happened to me." "Get used to it," said. "To them, we are like children who just learn to walk. They do not know that humans are strong. They do not know what we can do." Sat down and looked at the ceiling. "Then we will show them." The next morning, training began, and walked to the training field with hundreds of other cadets. The sun was bright but cold. A tall alien with red skin stood at the front. He was the instructor. "I am Commander," the alien said. His voice was deep and loud. "You are here to become soldiers. You are here to serve the Galactic Council. I do not care what planet you come from. I do not care what species you are. Here you are all nothing. You will earn your place or you will leave." The cadets stood in silence. Commander looked at them one by one. When his eyes landed on, he stopped. "A human," Commander said. "I heard Earth sent 2 cadets this year. Interesting. Let us see if your species can survive the training." Some of the alien cadets laughed, did not move. He did not speak. He just looked at Commander and waited. The training was hard. They ran for hours. They climbed walls. They fought in hand-to-hand combat practice. His body hurt, but he did not stop. He pushed himself harder than ever before. Ran beside him during the long-distance run. "They are watching us," she said quietly. Looked to his left. 5 aliens with dark purple skin and sharp teeth were running nearby. They were big and strong. Their leader, a cadet named, looked at with cold eyes. "I heard about them," said. "Think they are the best warriors in the galaxy. They do not like competition, and they really do not like humans." Said nothing, he just kept running. That night sat in the cafeteria alone, had gone to study. The cafeteria was large and full of cadets eating strange foods, had a simple meal from the human section. Rice, vegetables, and some kind of protein that tasted like chicken. Walked past his table, stopped and looked down at. "Human," said, "you finished the run today. I am surprised. I thought your weak little legs would break." Looked up, they did not. Smiled, it was not a friendly smile. "Enjoy your time here, human. It will not last long." He walked away with his 4 friends. Watched them go. He finished his meal in silence. He knew trouble was coming. He could feel it, but he was not afraid. Had not come to the Galactic Military Academy to fail. He had come to prove that humans belonged among the stars, and he would not let anyone, not anyone, take that away from him. He cleaned his tray and walked back to his room. Tomorrow would be another hard day, but was ready. Humans had survived ice ages, wars, and disasters. They had climbed out of caves and reached for the stars. A few alien bullies were nothing compared to that. The first week at the academy was hard. The second week was worse. Woke up every morning with pain in his muscles, but he never complained. He trained, he studied, and he kept his head down. Did the same. They were both trying to survive. But his 4 friends did not want them to survive. It started small. One morning found his training uniform torn into pieces. It was lying on the floor outside his room. The fabric was cut with sharp claws. He knew it was He picked up the pieces and went to get a new uniform. He did not report it. The next day, someone put strange food in his locker. It smelled terrible. Other cadets laughed when opened the locker door. The smell stayed in his clothes for hours. He washed everything that night and said nothing. Was angry. "You need to report them," she said. They were sitting in their room after training. "This is not okay." "Report them to who?" asked. "The instructors do not care about us. We are just humans to them. If I complain, they will think I am weak." "You are not weak," said. "I know that, but they do not, and complaining will not change their minds." Looked at the wall. "The only way to earn respect here is to be better than them. That is what I will do." Sighed, "Just be careful, are dangerous. They are strong and fast, and they do not know how to stop." Nodded, he had noticed that too. In combat training, they hit harder than they needed to. They did not follow the rules. One time, broke another cadet's arm during a practice match. The instructor just told the injured cadet to go to the medical bay. No punishment for. That was how things worked here. The strong did what they wanted. The weak suffered. But did not plan to stay weak for long. Days passed. The bullying continued, and his friends pushed in the hallways. They called him names during training. They laughed at his small size and soft body. One day walked up to in the training yard. The sun was hot. Cadets were resting after a long exercise. "Tell me, human," said loudly. Everyone could hear him. "How long do your kind live?" Wiped sweat from his face. "About 80 or 90 years. Laughed, so did his friends. 80 years, that is nothing. Live for 300 years. Your entire life is like a weekend to us." Some other aliens laughed too. Felt the heat of shame rise in his chest, but he kept his face calm. 80 years is enough, said. Leaned closer. His breath smelled bad. Enough for what? To crawl around on your little planet, to build your little machines. Humans are bobbies, you should not be here. Looked in the eyes. And yet here I am. For a moment looked surprised. Then his face became angry. He grabbed the front of his uniform and pulled him close. "Listen carefully, human," said quietly. "I do not like you. I do not like your species. Every time I look at you, I feel sick. You think you can come here and stand next to us. You think you are equal to us. Did not look away. Let go of me." "Or what?" asked. He smiled his ugly smile. "What will you do, little human? Hit me. Try it. See what happens." An instructor shouted from across the yard. "Back to training now. Let go of and step back. We will finish this later," he said. Then he walked away with his friends. Ran over to, "Are you okay?" "I am fine," said, but his hands were shaking, not from fear, from anger. That night could not sleep. He lay in bed and looked at the ceiling, was asleep on the other side of the room. The academy was quiet. Thought about his life on Earth. He thought about his family, his mother, his father, his little sister. They had been so proud when he was accepted to the academy. His mother had cried tears of joy. His father had hugged him for a long time. "You are going to represent all of us," his mother had said. "Show them what humans can do." Remembered those words. He also remembered something else, something his grandfather had told him years ago. "Our family has a long history," grandfather had said. "Your great-great-grandfather was a soldier. He fought in wars that seemed impossible to win, but he never gave up. He used to say that the body can be trained, but the spirit must be born strong. You have that spirit, I can see it in your eyes." Closed his eyes. He thought about his training on Earth. Before coming to the academy, he had practiced martial arts for 10 years. He knew how to fight. He knew how to control his body and his mind. But here he had been holding back. He did not want to cause trouble. He did not want to give anyone a reason to send him home. But maybe that was wrong. Maybe holding back was not the answer. The next morning went to the training yard early. No one was there yet. The sun was just coming up. He stood in the center of the yard and began to move. He practiced his forms, slow at first, then faster. His fists cut through the air. His feet moved in perfect patterns. He kicked, punched, blocked, and moved like water, like fire, like something old and dangerous. For 30 minutes he trained alone. When he stopped, he was breathing hard. Sweat covered his body, but he felt good. He felt like himself again. That was interesting. Turned around. An alien was standing at the edge of the yard. She was tall with silver skin and large dark eyes. Her name was. She was one of the top cadets in their group. "I did not know humans could move like that," said. She walked closer. "Your species is full of surprises." Wiped his face. "We have our own ways of fighting." Nodded slowly. "I have been watching you. You are different from what I expected. You are quiet. You do not react when they bully you. Most cadets would have broken by now." "I am not most cadets." Smiled a little. "No, you are not." She turned to leave, then stopped. "Be careful with, he is not just a bully. He is the son of a powerful general. He has connections, and he does not like to lose." "Thank you for telling me," said. Walked away, watched her go, then looked up at the sky. The stars were fading as the sun rose higher. He knew that would not stop. The bullying would get worse, but was not going to run. He was not going to hide. He had something that did not understand. Humans were survivors. They had fought their way to the top of a dangerous planet. They had killed predators bigger and stronger than themselves. They had learned to work together, to plan, to wait for the right moment. Thought humans were weak because they were small and lived short lives. But he was wrong, so very wrong. When the moment came, would show him the truth, and the whole galaxy would watch. 3 weeks had passed since arrived at the academy. The training was getting harder, but was getting stronger too. His body was changing. His muscles were bigger. His reflexes were faster. The alien instructors had started to notice him. "The human is keeping up," Commander said one day during training. "Interesting." But noticed too, and he did not like it. The bullying got worse, and his friends followed everywhere. They pushed him, tripped him, and said terrible things about Earth and humans. One time they locked him in a storage room for 2 hours. Another time they threw his books into the trash. Stayed calm through all of it. He did not fight back. He did not report them. He just kept moving forward. Was worried. They are getting bolder, she said one night. Something bad is going to happen. Let it happen, said, I am ready. Then came the package. It arrived on a Tuesday morning, a small box from Earth. His mother had sent it. Inside was a container of homemade kimchi. Real kimchi made with love by his mother's hands. She had found a way to send it across space to him. There was also a letter. My dear, the letter said, I know you are far from home, I know things must be hard, but I want you to remember that we are always with you. I made this kimchi for you. It is the same recipe from your grandmother. When you eat it, think of home, think of us. We are so proud of you. Love, Mom. Held the letter for a long time. He felt tears in his eyes, but he did not let them fall. He put the kimchi in a safe place and kept the letter in his pocket. For the next few days, save the kimchi. He only ate a little bit each night, making it last. It was the best thing he had eaten since leaving Earth. Each bite reminded him of home, of his mother's smile, of sitting at the kitchen table with his family. Then came that day, the day everything changed. It was lunchtime. The cafeteria was full of cadets from all over the galaxy, sat at a small table near the back. He had his tray of food, and for the first time he had brought his kimchi to eat in public. There was only a little left. He wanted to enjoy it. Was not there. She had gone to the library to study, was alone. He opened the container. The smell of kimchi filled the air. Some aliens nearby made faces. They did not like the smell, did not care. He picked up his chopsticks and started to eat. Then a shadow fell over his table. What is that smell? Asked loudly. He stood behind with his 4 friends. It smells like something died. Did not turn around. Go away. Go away, laughed. No, I do not think so. What are you eating, human? Is that food from your dirty little planet? His hand tightened on his chopsticks. It is none of your business. Walked around the table. He looked at the container of kimchi, his face twisted with disgust. This is what humans eat. This red, rotten garbage. No wonder your species is so weak. You eat like animals. Do not touch it, said. His voice was quiet but hard. Smiled, he reached down and picked up the container. Or what? What will you do, little human? The cafeteria had gone quiet. Everyone was watching. Cadets from dozens of planets stared at, and some looked scared, some looked excited, some just looked curious. That was a gift from my mother, said. He stood up slowly. Put it down. Laughed louder. His friends joined him. A gift from your mother, how sweet. The little human misses his mommy. He held the container up high. Maybe I should taste it, see if it is as disgusting as it smells. Put it down, said again. His voice was still calm, but something in his eyes had changed. Something dark and cold was waking up inside him. Saw it, for a moment, just a moment, he looked unsure. Then his pride took over. He could not look weak in front of everyone. You know what, said. I do not want to taste this garbage, I think I will just. He turned the container upside down. The kimchi fell onto his tray. It splattered across his food, his table, his uniform. Red sauce spread everywhere. Then dropped the container on the floor. It broke into pieces. Oops, said with a cruel smile. Sorry about that. The cafeteria was completely silent now. No one moved. No one spoke. Everyone watched the human cadet standing there with his mother's kimchi destroyed at his feet. Looked down at the mess. He looked at the broken container. He thought about his mother making the kimchi in their small kitchen. He thought about her hands, working for hours to prepare it. He thought about the love she had put into every piece. And now it was gone, destroyed by this alien who thought humans were nothing. Something inside broke, not his spirit, something else. A wall, a barrier. the thing that had been holding him back. He looked up his eyes were different now, empty, cold, like the eyes of a predator about to strike. "You should not have done that," said. His voice was quiet, too quiet. The aliens closest to him stepped back. They felt something change in the air, something dangerous. Laughed nervously. "What are you going to do about it, human?" Cry. Did not answer. He just stood there looking His breathing was slow and deep. His body was completely still, like a snake before it attacks. His four friends moved closer. They were ready to fight, ready to hurt the human if he tried anything. 5 against 1 human, easy odds, no contest. That is what they thought. "Come on," said. He was trying to sound confident, but his voice shook a little. "Do something. Show everyone what humans are made of." Tilted his head slightly. He looked at each of the 5 one by one. He measured them, calculated distances, noted their positions. His mind worked faster than it ever had before. On Earth's martial arts teacher had once told him something important. In a real fight, you do not wait. You do not hesitate. When you decide to act, you act with everything you have. Speed and surprise are your greatest weapons. Had never forgotten those words. And now, for the first time since coming to the academy, he was ready to use them. "You have 3 seconds to apologize," said. Stared at him, then he laughed. "Apologize to a human, never." 1 said. Looked at his friends, they all laughed. 2 said. The laughter faded. Something was wrong. The human was not scared. He was not backing down. His eyes were empty and focused, like a machine calculating targets. 3 said. Opened his mouth to speak. He never got the chance. What happened next would be talked about in the academy for years. Cadets who saw it would tell the story to their children. Instructors would use the video recordings in their classes. The events of those 10 seconds would change how the entire galaxy viewed humans. It started with a single step. Moved forward so fast that most aliens could not see it. One moment he was standing still. The next moment he was directly in front of. There was no warning, no hesitation, just pure explosive speed. His eyes went wide. He tried to raise his arms, but he was too slow, much too slow. His first strike hit in the throat, not hard enough to kill, but hard enough to crush his voice box, made a choking sound. Air left his lungs. He could not breathe. He could not scream. Before his body even started to fall, was already moving to the next target. The second was named. He was the biggest of the 5, 3 meters tall with arms as thick as tree trunks. He swung his massive fist at its head. Ducked under the punch. His body bent like water flowing around a rock. In the same motion, he drove his elbow into the side of his knee. The joint broke with a loud crack, screamed and fell to one knee. Spun and delivered a palm strike to his temple. The big alien's eyes rolled back. He collapsed onto the floor like a falling mountain. 3 seconds had passed. 2 were down. The third and fourth attacked together. Their names were and Tor. They were brothers who had trained together since birth. They moved as one, attacking from both sides at the same time. Did not panic. He did not even look nervous. His body moved on pure instinct. Years of training had programmed his muscles to react without thinking. He caught his punch with his left hand. At the same moment, he kicked backwards into Tor's stomach. Tor bent over, gasping for air, pulled forward off balance and headbutted him directly in the face. Purple blood exploded from his nose. Bones cracked. Fell backward, immediately turned to Tor, who was still trying to breathe. He grabbed Tor's head and drove his knee into the alien's face. Once, twice, 3 times. Tor went limp and dropped to the ground. 6 seconds, 4 were down, 1 remained. The last was named Hask. He was the of the group. While his friends had attacked with anger and pride, Hask had been watching, learning. He saw how the human moved. He saw the techniques, and he was afraid. But fear did not stop him. Hask pulled a small blade from his belt. It was against Academy rules to carry weapons in the cafeteria, but Hask did not care about rules anymore. He only cared about survival. "Stay back," Hask shouted. His voice was high and scared. "Stay back or I will cut you." Stopped moving, he looked at the blade, then he looked at Hask. For a moment everything was frozen. The entire cafeteria was silent. Hundreds of aliens watched with wide eyes. They could not believe what they had just seen. A single human had destroyed 4 in 6 seconds, and now the fifth one was waving a knife around like a scared child. "Put down the knife," said. His voice was calm, empty, like the voice of death itself. "No," Hask shouted. "You are a monster. What are you?" Took a step forward. "I am human." Hask swung the knife. It was a wild, desperate attack. The blade cut through the air towards chest, but was not there anymore. He had stepped to the side just a few centimeters. The blade missed him completely. In the same instant, grabbed Hask's wrist. He twisted it hard. The bones snapped like dry wood. The knife fell from Hask's fingers. Hask screamed in pain. Did not stop. He pulled Hask toward him and drove his fist into the alien's ribs. One rib broke, then another, then a third. Hask's scream became a wet gurgle as his lungs filled with blood. "Let go." Hask fell to the floor, joining his friends. 10 seconds, 5, all of them down, all of them broken. Stood in the middle of the cafeteria, surrounded by 5 unconscious or semi-conscious aliens. He was breathing hard, but his face showed no emotion. No anger, no satisfaction, nothing. He looked down at. The leader was awake but could not move. He was trying to breathe through his damaged throat. His eyes were full of fear and confusion. "You thought humans were weak," said quietly. Only could hear him. "You thought we were inferior. You were wrong." Tried to speak, but only a choking sound came out. "Humans did not become the dominant species on Earth by being peaceful," continued. "We hunted, we killed. We survived ice ages and mass extinctions. We fought wars that lasted decades. We have violence in our blood, in our bones, in our DNA." He leaned closer too. "You spilled my mother's kimchi. That was the last gift I had from home, the last piece of her love." His voice was cold as ice. "Be grateful I did not kill you." Then he stood up straight and looked around the cafeteria. Hundreds of faces stared at him. Aliens from across the galaxy, all frozen in shock and fear. Picked up his tray. The kimchi was ruined, but he gathered what he could. He put the broken pieces of his mother's container in his pocket. Then, without saying another word, he walked out of the cafeteria. No one tried to stop him. Behind him, alarms started to ring. Medical teams rushed in. The 5 were put on stretchers and carried away. Their injuries were severe: broken bones, internal bleeding, collapsed lungs, crushed joints. They would all survive, but they would spend weeks in the intensive care unit. Found outside, sitting on a bench near the training yard. He was holding the broken pieces of his mother's container. His hands were shaking now. The coldness had left his eyes. He looked tired, sad. "I heard what happened," said. She sat down next to him. "The whole academy is talking about it." Did not respond. "They are saying you took down 5 in 10 seconds, said. "People are calling you a demon, a monster." "I am not a monster," said quietly. "I am just a human who lost his temper." Looked at the broken container in his hands. "That was the kimchi from your mom, was it not?" Nodded. Was quiet for a moment, then she put her hand on his shoulder. "I am sorry, I know how much that meant to you." "It was not just food," said. It was home. It was everything I miss about Earth, and they destroyed it like it was nothing." "So you destroyed them." Closed his eyes. "I did not plan to. When I saw the kimchi on the floor, something inside me just broke. I could not think. I could only act." Nodded slowly. "That is the human survival instinct. Our ancestors were predators. When something threatens what we love, we do not run. We fight." "The instructors are going to punish me," said. They might send me home. Maybe, said. Or maybe not. What did was wrong. He bullied you for weeks. He destroyed your property. He attacked you first in a way. You defended yourself. Looked at her. Do you really think they will see it that way? Smiled a little. I think after today, every alien in this academy will think twice before messing with a human, and that is worth something. They sat together in silence as the sun set over the academy. Tomorrow would bring questions, investigations, and consequences. But for now, just held the broken pieces of his mother's gift and remembered the taste of home. The next morning was called to the Commandant's office. Commandant was the highest authority at the Galactic Military Academy. She was ancient, even by alien standards. Her skin was dark blue, and her eyes glowed with a soft golden light. She had fought in wars that happened before humans learned to make fire. Walked into her office and stood at attention. His heart was beating fast, but he kept his face calm. Sit down, Cadet, Commandant said. Her voice was deep and old. Sat in the chair in front of her desk. The office was large and full of strange objects from different planets. Weapons, flags, and pictures covered the walls. Commandant looked at him for a long time without speaking. Then she tapped a button on her desk. A screen appeared in the air, showing a video. It was the recording from the cafeteria. Watched himself take down 5 in 10 seconds. It was strange to see it from the outside. He looked like a different person. Faster, more dangerous, more alive. I have watched this video 17 times, Commandant said. So have my instructors. So have military commanders across 3 different star systems. Swallowed. Am I in trouble, Commandant? She smiled slightly. That depends on how you define trouble. She turned off the video. The 5 cadets are in the intensive care unit. 3 of them have permanent injuries. The leader will never speak the same way again. His father, General, is extremely angry. Felt cold. General was one of the most powerful military leaders in the galaxy. I understand, Commandant. I accept whatever punishment you give me. Punishment? Commandant leaned back in her chair. Why would I punish you? Looked at her with surprise. I hurt 5 cadets. I sent them to the medical bay. Yes, you did. After they bullied you for weeks. After they destroyed your personal property. After they threatened you in front of hundreds of witnesses. She picked up a tablet and read from it. I have statements from 47 cadets. All of them say that and his friends started the confrontation. All of them say you only acted after your food was destroyed. But I hurt them badly, said. You defended yourself, Commandant said firmly. In this academy, that is not a crime. It is expected. She put down the tablet. What surprised everyone, including me, is how well you defended yourself. She stood up and walked to the window. Outside, cadets were training in the yard. Do you know why humans were not allowed in this academy before? She asked. Because we were considered too primitive, said. Partly, but also because we did not understand you. She turned to face him. The Galactic Council has records of thousands of species. We have studied them all. We thought we knew what humans were, short-lived, physically weak, emotionally unstable. We did not think you could compete with species like the... She walked back to her desk. We were wrong. Stayed silent. The video from yesterday has been shared across the galaxy, Commandant continued. Every military academy, every war college, every commander in the galactic fleet has seen it. They are all asking the same question. What are humans really capable of? She sat down and looked directly at. I watched you fight, Cadet. Your speed, your precision, your ability to read opponents and react. It was remarkable. But what impressed me most was your control. My control? Asked. You could have killed them, Commandant said simply. Any one of those 5 could be dead right now, but they are not. You hurt them just enough to stop them, just enough to win, not one strike more than necessary. Thought about that. In the moment he had not been thinking at all. His body had moved on its own. But she was right. He had not tried to kill them. Even in his rage, some part of him had held back. That level of control requires years of training, Commandant said. It requires discipline. It requires a mind that can stay calm even in the middle of violence. She paused. These are the qualities of a great soldier. She leaned forward. I am not going to punish you, Cadet. I am going to promote you. Stared at her. Promote me. You have shown abilities that exceed most cadets in this academy. You have demonstrated courage, discipline, and skill under pressure. From today, you will be moved to the advanced training program. You will train with the best cadets from across the galaxy. Did not know what to say. This was not what he had expected at all. There is one more thing, Commandant said. General demanded that you be expelled and arrested. I refused. You refused a general. I told him that his son brought this on himself. I showed him the evidence, the weeks of bullying, the destruction of your property, the threats. She smiled coldly. I also told him that if his son cannot handle a single human, perhaps the military is not as strong as it claims to be. Almost laughed, almost. General was not happy, Commandant said, but he accepted my decision. He has no choice. The evidence is clear. His son was the aggressor. You were the defender. She stood up and extended her hand, stood up too and shook it. Welcome to the advanced program, Cadet, she said. Make humanity proud. When left, the Commandant's office was waiting outside. She ran to him. What happened? Are you okay? Are you being expelled? Shook his head. I got promoted. His mouth dropped open. What? I am moving to the advanced training program. Stared at him for a long moment. Then she started laughing. She laughed so hard that tears ran down her face. This is amazing, she said. You beat up 5 and got promoted for it. Only a human could do that. Smiled for the first time in days. Come on, let us go eat. I am hungry. As they walked to the cafeteria, noticed something different. The other cadets were looking at him, but not with disgust or mockery. They looked at him with respect. Some even looked afraid. In the cafeteria, a path opened for him. Cadets moved out of his way. Tables that were full suddenly had empty seats when he walked by. Got his food and sat down at a table. For the first time, no one bothered him. No one pushed him. No one called him names. Sat across from him, grinning. You have become famous. The whole galaxy knows about the human who sent 5 to the ICU in 10 seconds. I did not want to be famous, said. I just wanted to be left alone. Well, now you will definitely be left alone, said. No one is going to mess with you ever again. Thought about that as he ate. He thought about his mother's kimchi destroyed on the floor. He thought about the broken container still sitting in his room. He thought about home. That night, he wrote a letter to his mother. Dear Mom, he wrote, the kimchi was delicious. Thank you for sending it. I shared it with a friend and she loved it too. The academy is hard, but I am doing well. I made some trouble recently, but everything worked out. The instructors say I am improving. I miss you and Dad and everyone at home. Please do not worry about me. I am okay. I am more than okay. Love. He did not tell her the full truth. He did not want her to worry, but in a way what he wrote was true. The kimchi had been delicious. He had shared it with, and everything had worked out. As sealed the letter, he looked out the window at the stars. Somewhere out there, Earth was spinning around the sun. His family was going about their lives, waiting for him to come home. He would make them proud. He would show the galaxy what humans could do, not through violence but through excellence, through courage, through the same qualities that had carried his species from caves to the stars. They had learned an important lesson, so had everyone else. Humans were not prey, they were not weak, they were not primitive. They were survivors, they were fighters, they were dangerous when they needed to be. And now the whole galaxy knew it.